Hey everyone, it's Tammy again from Appalachian Ambrosia. Today's good conversation is with Clint Waddell, owner and operator of Blue Mountain Therapy. And I welcome you, Clint, today. Thanks for spending some time with me.
Thanks for the invitation.
Well, you're quite welcome. You have been at Blue Mountain Therapy for quite some time, and you've got some exciting things that have taken place during the pandemic. And we're going to talk about those things. But the very first thing I'd like for you to do is share with the listeners a little bit about yourself.
So, born and raised right here in Meadowview, Virginia area. All of my life, I never would have thought that I would end up living in the same zip code that I was born in. When you're younger, you think, anywhere but here. It actually took me moving away for a few years to realize that this is where I wanted to come back to. Being able to choose that this is where I wanted to come back to has been pretty powerful. Went to Patrick Henry High School. I went to Virginia Tech, had that special 5-year degree. Went up to Northern Virginia for about 2 years. First day on the job up there was 9/11. And so my time up there was not the best timing. Had the DC sniper right after that. And after all that mess, it was time to come home. And so once I came back.
A little bit of excitement then when you started your professional career.
Absolutely, yeah. First job out of college, number one day with the new job in Northern Virginia, right there at the Potomac Mall's exit at the Red Lobster up there. Number one day on the job was 9/11. So,
wow.
Glad to be home.
And we're glad to have you home. You are a real asset to the area. So tell me how Blue Mountain Therapy came about once you came home.
Yeah, so I'd been working. My family actually had assisted living facilities growing up. So Hillcrest Rest Home, my grandparents had that. Then my mom and aunt ran that one for years. And during college, by the time my son was being born, I actually ran Serenity Adult Care there in Meadowview. So there was always that healthcare side of things that I grew up around. Later on, I had a cousin who reached out to me and she said, "Hey, Clint, there's a home health agency that's needing a marketer. I would like for you to apply." First time I actually didn't get the position. Whoever the marketer was that they had hired and instead of me, they ended up coming back to me, probably within 6 months after that. So I got right back into the healthcare game after being in the restaurant business for several years. And then within a few months, became the administrator of the home health company. Had an opportunity to go with the therapy agency not long after that. And due to some either good luck or bad luck, whichever way you want to look at it, some of the decisions of the ownership of that company led to an opportunity that I either could create work here with Blue Mountain or find other work. And so ended up having childhood friends that originally opened the company with. I've now been in business since October of 2013.
Well, that your background as you're growing up was a real asset to you, and you probably didn't know it at the time, but you learned quite a bit being in that atmosphere with family members having, nursing facilities and things. So you have several offices. Your main office is located on Lee Highway in Abingdon, Virginia, and I'll be putting up the address for you later.
Okay.
But you have some really super exciting news, and it's not to take away from the earlier news that you had during the pandemic, but you have some satellite offices. So you said, I think two, you mentioned to me earlier as we spoke a little bit, two have opened or three have opened during the pandemic. Is that right?
We opened two in Norton. So we actually have two new locations over in Norton, Virginia. And those opened up almost a year from each other. One was expected to open right around the time that the pandemic hit. So March of 2020. And then we just got through opening up I want to say that we opened up the second location in, oh goodness, I want to say maybe February of this year. And then we have actually grown our Wytheville location to a new facility during the pandemic as well. And the most exciting news is that on October 31st of this past year, we bought the building that everyone knows as Dixie Pottery location. That'll be kind of our flagship, and we're working with Zoning and Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors trying to get a special exception for the zoning permit to be able to bring in some exciting not just exciting therapies, just some exciting opportunities for the area as well. But hoping to bring in equine assisted therapy services, and would love to have a petting zoo here on the property. Would love to be able to put a pool in for aquatic therapy. Just just a lot of things. We're really excited about it.
Well, I'm very excited, and I know many other people are excited because the building has actually stayed vacant since I think it was 2008. And you're not going to believe this, but anyway, I actually was cleaning out my cabinet yesterday, and I have an item from Dixie Pottery.
I see that.
It's a sugar shaker here, and I don't know how well you remember the pottery, but it was the place to go for any need that you had, and people came from miles around to Dixie Pottery, and I think the logo was the world under one roof, something similar to that. But the Yates family traveled all over to bring in items that could be sold at a discount to folks. And
Absolutely.
so you're kind of continuing that because you're going to be offering some new things and a variety of things at that location. But before we talk a little bit more about them, you've touched on them a little bit. Let's talk about the services that Blue Mountain Therapy already offers at their offices.
So we started out doing home health and early intervention. To me, patient choice is very important. Just like I feel like competition is healthy, I don't want Blue Mountain to be the only option for therapy services. Our goal is to be the best, but we don't want to be the only option. So we partner with multiple home health agencies in the state of Virginia, and then we also work with 8 of the early intervention provider locations in the state of Virginia. So with home health, we provide physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech language pathology, and medical social work. And then for early intervention, we offer physical, occupational, and speech therapy services as well. And we cover pretty much from the far western counties of Virginia, so Dickinson, Lee, Wise, Scott, we cover those, and we're covering all the way up to the Roanoke, Virginia line. You just go up and down on the calendar or on the map there, and west of Roanoke, and we've got it covered. Um, COVID absolutely hit and has hurt probably home health and early intervention more than some of the other services. So right now we're excited to see elective surgery starting to happen back up, and be able to provide more of those services. So for the home health, we partner with home health agencies. And for anybody that really wants, Blue Mountain as their provider, they can request us by name, or they can actually send us the referrals, and we'll send them to a home health agency that we partner with.
That's
Services that we offer in our outpatient clinics are
no.
for pediatrics, and those all the way up, the age 18 primarily. But we offer physical, occupational, and speech, but then we also offer ABA behavioral therapy services. And then we've now also added therapeutic consultation, which are for the adults that are on the DD waiver through Medicaid. I did forget one other one. We have the Washington County Public School System therapy contract for this year. So the COVID first year of COVID is the first year that we got the school contract. So that's been a learning experience as well.
And that's kind of an important contract since you went through that school system and had somebody as one of your teachers. I won't, her name shall
Yeah.
remain
Yeah.
nameless.
I mean, when I'm sitting here looking on camera, we look about the same age. So I don't think that teacher could have been you.
No, definitely not. Well, your business certainly offers a lot of services, and I'm assuming that every service that you offer is by referral. Is that correct?
That is correct. They can find out more information on our Facebook page, our webpage, so Blue Mountain Therapy. Just look those up and you'll find us. But webpage is bluemountaintherapy.com. I'm very good to give out my personal cell number and email. We do a lot of things that are not for profit as well. So we are a for-profit company, but we do a lot of things that we don't make money on. So we collect, refurbish, and reissue durable medical equipment free of charge. It's important for us to be a good member in the community. I feel like if we try to outgive one another, everybody ends up winning on that in that scenario.
Correct, correct. So, lots of services there that you already offer, and talk a little bit more about what you want to offer again at the Dixie Pottery location. And I believe if I read correctly in the paper, an article that was already done on you, that once you move there, you're hoping to continue to have your other office on Lee Highway open as a daycare. Is that correct?
That is correct. So, knowing how COVID has impacted so many families, our own employees, included, I really want to be able to open a child care facility. And one of the benefits that we'd be able to offer our employees is that they get it at a 50% discount for the child care. We all know that child care is expensive. We know that it's very needed. A lot of our employees are of that childbearing age, and I want to say last year we had 4 or 5 employees, since COVID that have had kids. But just trying to give some options. We want to be the employer of choice and the provider of choice, and so it can't just be talk. We've actually got to make sure that we back that up. So as part of a benefits package, like I said, I want to offer that child care facility at a discount for those employees, and then after that, we'll open that up to the general public as well.
That's a great offer, because like you said, it's very expensive, and I know your employees and the public both will appreciate that. So tell me more now about this big building that you're going to occupy.
So we had tried to keep it a secret for a good while, and we were able to keep it a secret for about 5.5 months from date of purchase, I guess. And then I received a phone call from Joe Tennis, and apparently he keeps up with the Board of Supervisors agendas, and gotten my information from the council members there as far as Board of Supervisors, and reached out and figured at that point, if I wanted to have a say in what he was going to write, I might as well participate in his interview. But we want to build a horse riding arena. We want to be able to offer the equine assisted psychotherapy services. So have counselors, case managers, help with veterans, all ages. They won't just be for pediatrics, but it'll be all ages that we'll start offering those services. And then we want to be able to have equine assisted physical, occupational, and speech therapy services. A lot of people know that as hippotherapy. But I think it'll be, a huge opportunity. From the day that came out in the paper, we've already received just numerous Facebook messages, private messages, people wanting to volunteer, people wanting to help fundraise. Stephanie Peace created the Blue Mountain Foundation, which is a true nonprofit, a 501c3, to help raise funds. And their whole mission is to donate those funds to help support that program. What's unique about that program is it's really not a money-making program, because you can only bill insurance for the therapy services. So it doesn't take into account the expenses of the horses, the feed, the vet bills, the barn, the arena, everything that goes along with that. So there are some families who can obviously afford to pay for those additional fees that go along with it, but there's going to be a lot of families who can't. And our goal is to be able to provide the therapies, and knowing that we can try to support that with some fundraising on the nonprofit side of things.
That's great to hear that so many people are wanting to be involved, to volunteer, to fundraise, because it is going to be quite the addition to our area. Is there anything like it, say, within a 100-mile radius that you know of?
So there's one in Kingsport, as far as for the horse program, there's one in Kingsport, and it's called Small Miracles. And they are a nonprofit. There's also one just right outside of Roanoke called Healing Strides of Virginia. It's in Falls Mills, and it's also a nonprofit. So most of those programs are nonprofit programs. So to the best of my knowledge, we're the only one that's, a for-profit program that's trying to basically run that section, and just see if we can't partner with some nonprofits for, like I said, fundraising and grants, just to try and make those ends meet for it.
Right. Well, it is a humongous building, and you've got great dreams and goals for it. And I am just so very happy that you're back in the area. I'm so very proud of all the work that you're doing and how you reach out into the community. Is there anything else that you want to share with the listeners before we close?
Yeah, just kind of keep up with us. And if you're looking for volunteer opportunities, we try to have things throughout the year. COVID has changed that a little bit as far as the activities we've been able to do in the last year, but we try to give a concert there in the fall that partner with that Blue Mountain Foundation, where they've done Tunes for Tykes to raise toys and funds. Last year, we had over $4,000 that they donated to us on top of all the toys that they purchased. So for like the the week to a week and a half prior to Christmas, we were having all of our employees go out and just try to hand out all those toys. Just know that we try to be a good steward of the company and the resources, and we try to be a good neighbor in the community. We just want to do our part. But yeah, if you're ever looking for an opportunity to try to give, partner with us, and we'll try to find something for you to do.
Sounds
Keep an eye on our property here. We'll be having a ribbon cutting, and I want to do a community think tank to see what other services that we can actually offer and bring into the community as well.
great. Well, I'll be staying in touch with you and maybe have you back on and give an update when things are getting closer to the grand opening so that we can alert
Perfect.
people to that. And Clint, thank you again so much. And for everyone listening, if you want to find out more, you can find their website, bluemountaintherapy.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And on Facebook. So thanks again, Clint, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.